All right, welcome everyone to my Sunday stock watch. It is 1 minute till 5 p.m. Pacific time, so we still have a minute until overnight market open. So we are going to go over the economic calendar for this coming week. But I hope you guys all had an amazing week, an amazing weekend. But it's time to get ready for Monday market open, and let's get into it. So Monday, what news do we have? We don't have a whole lot going on. We do have one Fed speaker at 7 a.m., so 30 minutes after the market's open, but not super important. And then we have a couple more Fed speakers coming up around 2 hours after the market's open. Now, for Tuesday, let's see what we have going on Tuesday. We do have Mr. Jerome Powell speaking at around 9:30 a.m., so it's going to be close to 3 hours after the market's been open. We'll see Powell come on. Hopefully, we will get some price action before then because I normally like to be done trading before that time. But again, we'll see. And before that, we do have a couple news events, but again, nothing drastically important, just to keep your eye on. Then on Wednesday, we don't have a whole lot going on for Wednesday. And then Thursday, we do have durable goods orders, GDP growth rate. So a couple important events, but once again, nothing dire, nothing like last week, tell you that much. And then for Friday, what do we have going on? We have PCE, and then personal income, personal spending, and then some Fed speakers. And that's about it as far as economic data. So we don't have too much. We do have Powell Tuesday, so please be aware of that. But other than that, looks like a little bit more of a calm week. And obviously, as you can tell, I'm not at my setup right now, so just filming this for you guys. But yeah, let's get into it. So let's take a look at overnight market since it is just now opened up. QQQ, we have sitting at 598.60, so down slightly from Friday close. Not a whole lot. SPY down slightly from Friday close. Netflix down a bit. Netflix is a pretty big watch for me going into this next week, and I'll talk about that. We got Circle down a bit. Tesla up $5 already. So we're already still seeing Tesla run, which is great. And yeah, so let's take a look. So for this next week, obviously, we're still basically at all-time highs. All-time high is 605 or 607 area on QQQ. So we hit that all-time high on Friday, September 19th. And the range that I do expect for this week is going to be the 600. It will be pretty hard for us to get above there and hold above 600. That is a really strong psychological level. So just be aware of that, that we might reject that a few times. And then I also do think that we could definitely see back down into 595 to, 592 range. So just be aware of, this type of range that we're going to get. I don't expect the market to give us a whole lot, maybe a bit of a pullback this next week. But again, who knows with this market now that we just got a rate cut, we're still very bullish. So we'll see going forward. So that's the general range that I'm going to, be watching. I'll also be looking for a couple levels like this 597.40 area. This is obviously a pretty strong level. And if we just turn on volume, we could obviously see some of these stronger levels, this 596.50. And then once we come back down here, if we were to retrace back to 590, this is a pretty bullish zone. So purple is buying, black is selling. So we could obviously see that from 590, if we were to retrace to there, we could most definitely see a nice bounce. But yeah, now for SPY, same sort of thing. We're still nearing that all-time high area. But SPY's all-time high is at 655.10, and we're a bit further away. We're about the same price away right now as QQQ. So pretty correlated, unlike a week or two ago, they were pretty uncorrelated, which was showing some red flags for me. But yeah. But anyways, same sort of idea with SPY. I think we're going to stay within this general area of this all-time high. And we potentially could see back into this 660, maybe even 658 range if we do get any sort of retracement or pullback. But above all-time high areas, I don't got any levels for you guys. I just got to say watch out for them because we could either reject them or we could just break right above. So the lower levels is really what I'm looking for because we could get bounces from these areas. And especially looks like this 659 or 660 area on SPY is going to be a big bounce level. So if we do retrace back down here, be aware of that. And then Tesla. So Tesla's currently now above this 630 area. If I take a look again, what are we trading at? We are at 634. So yeah, we've now broken above this recent high. And if we go to the daily chart, let's take a look back. Yeah, so we've broken above there, and I mean, I expect to see Tesla just probably continue to rip a little bit this next week. I mean, the next range I want to see Tesla go to is 445 to, 450. 450, I think we could get a strong reject once we tap into there, and it'll be a little bit hard to get over, but good news overall for my Tesla watchers, my Tesla people. But yeah, any lower levels to watch for if we do get a retracement. Obviously, this 420 area, look how much buying we have there. Anything right here, all these levels, 422, 425. At 417, we do have selling, but before then, we have so much buying volume that it kind of outweighs those sellers right there. But yeah, anyways, let's take a look at NVIDIA going into this next week. NVIDIA, I think we will continue to kind of see some choppiness, but we do have a good amount of sellers still, just at these higher areas. So if we do get a bounce, if we do continue higher, I do think at 178 to 180, we could see a pretty big reject from there. So be watching for that. And then if we do, for any reason, dip lower, like back into the 170 area, we could for sure see a nice bounce. I don't have any doubt about that, but let's take a quick look. What is NVIDIA at currently? It is currently at 176.40. So we are up slightly from Friday close, which not bad. But back into the 1 hour. Yeah, so I would expect to just be watching for these levels where we have a lot of volume, trading volume at, especially that 180 up to, 180 to 177 area. And then lower levels, I'd be watching the 173 up to like 175 range. And then next, Netflix is a big one that I'm watching for. So currently it's trading at, let's see, currently trading at 1,220. So I've been watching for Netflix because I do think that we can get a strong rejection. We do have a lot of selling at this 125 area. So main thing I'm gonna be watching for is for us to reject that range on Netflix and head lower. Currently we're trading pretty nicely below it, but I would love to see that trend kind of continue. If we do for any reason go back above 1,220, I'm definitely not looking to short Netflix. And this thing gets a lot of chop, so I would just be aware and be careful of that as well. But yeah, overall, my bias on something like Netflix is a bit of a short bias. Other than that, let's go through. So right now, Bitcoin is trading a bit lower from last week, obviously. So if we can see a little bounce at the lower 115, even a bounce at 114,500, I would love to see MSTR get a continuation after, all that selling that it had a pretty nice sell-off. about a week ago when it was trading in the lower 320 area, and now it's gotten this huge bounce. So what I do want to see ideally is for MSTR to come back down a bit to this 340 to 338 range and get a bounce from there, as long as the Bitcoin is showing the same structure. That's what I want to see. So yeah, MSTR is currently trading at 343 and Circle's at 143, and Coinbase is at 344, and Coinbase is up a bit, which is interesting. So that's what I want to see from MSTR. Coin, I mean, I would love nothing more for us to come down, about $5, $6 back to this 337 area if we really could. That's where I would ideally want to long coin. But again, really just depends on Bitcoin. If we could actually see this, get a bounce play from here, we'll be golden for that. But if we can't see Bitcoin get a bounce, if Bitcoin does not hold this area up, then that's really not the play that I'm looking for. Next is going to be Circle. So let's take a look at Circle. Still sitting around the same area that we closed out on Friday. So ideally, I want to see Circle trade into 140, even 135, if we can, and then see a pretty nice bounce from there. Ideally, this 136 area, and then get a bounce. So same sort of play as last week, that I had. So yeah, that's kind of exactly what I'm looking for. And then Palantir. Let's see what Palantir is currently trading at. 183.12. So same sort of area that it closed at, but I definitely think we could see a pretty big rejection at these higher areas if we can trade back into, this almost all-time high range. I definitely think we could see a nice rejection, but I do want to see it come down for a long play. I would want to see it come down back to 180 to 178 and then play it from there. Ideally, if we do just end up breaking, above and reaching up to that 187, yeah, not looking to take longs on Palantir, just going to sit back and wait. But yeah, other than that, that is mainly what I'm watching going into this next week, mainly the areas I'm looking for. But again, be careful this next week because we are still around those all-time highs. We got Powell speaking on Tuesday. We don't have a lot of other things going on economic data-wise, which is great. But just be careful. Use your stop losses. Don't take too many trades. Follow your rules, and you'll be set. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Sunday, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week.